This is something I like to do with lightweight PLA after doing a bit of a sanding to get rid of some of the big lumps. It's an Aqueous based polyurethane. This is the Australian version, Carbethane Clear. It's got to be Aqueous. It's all water based, it says here. I think the US version is called Minwax. There is another brand here in Australia as well. It's a sort of a milky suspension, and it soaks in mostly water, so it doesn't add a lot to the weight. It adds a little bit, but not a huge amount. And basically it just sort of stabilizes the surface and makes it a little less susceptible to the sun when you finish the model. It's probably not as critical with the way we're doing the building the Meteor, because it's got a sort of like a 3D structure. It's not a vase mode or a spiral mode thin wall. It's got a little bit. It's a little bit more robust with the infill. The other thing that I sometimes do is use very lightweight fiberglass. If you want to get a really good surface on here, the fiberglass is really the best thing to put on it, but it'll add a little bit more weight. If you do everything to a really high level, you can add about 30% to your weight, which, remembering lightweight's about half of PLA to start with, so it's not as bad as it sounds. But nevertheless, I haven't used fiberglass with this Meteor project, but it is an option. Occasionally you might put a band on if you think there's a joint that you want to reinforce. I wouldn't bother with it here, but anyway, it soaks in reasonably well. It's sandable again, so I won't say I invented it, but I've seen people like the RC Geek. They do some reasonable work with this material, not necessarily with 3D printed, but anyway. And friend Alan Kennedy recommended this in the first place at my local flying field. Pretty easy to apply. Doesn't take very long to dry. There we go. Ta-da.